Hi, this is Jeff, and this is part 2 of my interview with the artistic director of Motor City Youth Theater, Nancy Florkowski, and her daughter, Jenny Florkowski, a swing on the Broadway production of Wicked. In this half, we're talking more about auditioning, the ups and downs of being a swing on Broadway, and bringing theater to children with disabilities, as well as much, much more, so let's get to it.
And he says within 2 bars of music, I can tell if this person sings well, if they're the type we need, the whole list of that. Tunnel vision, deer in headlights, don't look at anyone else, just don't run into anyone, and just know my numbers on the stage.
Hey everybody!
You need to treat your children like they are all special needs because every kid's an individual.
You learned over the course of 30 years in the business. What's the most lessons?
Our philosophy remains the same, I think, that we're here for the kids. We treat them not like little kids. We never talk down to them. We respect them. They respect us. Fred was an amazing teacher with these little kids way back in the day. He was amazing. He would just talk to them with his gentle voice. We all directed different plays. We did fairy tale plays. And I think it's teaching kids respect, and I've learned that what you give them is what you get back. And like I said, kids will go someplace else, like they might audition for a professional show and get yelled at. Jenny auditioned for a film once, and it was in a hotel. And there was a little girl who was also auditioning. The director, I won't mention her name, from Chicago, screamed at the mother and said, "Take that girl into the bathroom and take that hair out of whatever you have it in and wash that makeup off her face." She screamed at that mother. And I mean, this is what the real world is like sometimes.
Is that how you remember it? Were you there?
You were there, but she wasn't that girl.
But I don't remember that happening.
It was for Life with Mikey.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Oh, she was.
Maybe I blocked it out.
Well, what's the worst audition that you've been on?
Oh boy, where do I begin? I have. That's a really hard question. I mean, I've gone up on my words before.
So there's auditions where you felt you could have done better.
Yeah. Oh, yes. There are auditions that I'll walk out of and go, you know what? I could have prepared much more. There are auditions that I go to that I have prepared really well, and I still completely flop. And if that happens, I walk out going, I did what I could, and something just didn't work out. Some of my best auditions are where I completely forget everything. I have to start my song 3 times over. I swear, I go, oh, I can't believe I did that. And we're laughing, and it's fine. So I think the auditions that I would say are the worst auditions are just the ones where I really don't feel like I put enough work into it, and then I have to go like, Jenny, you could have done better.
I just. Not to plug my latest YouTube video.
Plug away.
5 mental mistakes actors make when auditioning. But I was just talking about the auditions that I think about still are the auditions where I stayed up too late. I overestimated my ability to memorize.
Yes.
I didn't prepare the way I could have. Those are the ones I'm sitting there and I'm kicking myself and I'm like, Jeff. But the ones I never think about are the ones I did. I mean, could I have done better? Sure. But given the circumstances that I was under,
yes,
I did the best I could and I can forget about it. Have you ever had auditions for jerks?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes, yes. There's one particular man that I really don't like going in for because he doesn't look up from his cell phone when you're auditioning for him. He'll just be down here, thank you, and then that's it. I guess that doesn't happen as often as I just made it sound like it does. People are usually respectful enough. They know what we're going through. A lot of people behind that table on the creative team have been actors before and get it. And then sometimes it's just you feel brushed aside because they've got hundreds of people to see. But yeah, there are only a couple jerks that I just choose not to go in for anymore.
Yeah.
Because I just get the feeling that they've never been interested in me, so I'm not interested in you.
my going theory is that you're in a room with a good director when the director wants you, or you feel like the director wants you to succeed.
Yes, exactly, 100%. And those are some of the kindest rooms. And that makes you, even if you don't get called back or you don't book it, you still feel seen. And like they respect the work that you've put into your time in that room. And yeah, I wish they could all be that way.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. I still act on occasion too. Also, you were mentioning going into these large calls, and something else I wanted to throw at you is I feel as a director that I can make a decision. Like, I know if I'm going to consider you from 4 to 15 seconds within your first, within walking into the door. Do you find that to be the case?
I've heard that over and over again. I think that's something that performers are constantly trying to remind themselves that it's not personal, and it is usually that. I have a good friend who's a music director in New York, lots of Broadway shows, and he says within 2 bars of music I can tell if this person sings well, if they're the type we need, the whole list of that. So I totally agree with that. And there are times that I've personally walked into a room and immediately gone, oh, this isn't right for me. I can feel, or I do my song and just the way they react is not negative, but I'm not what they're looking for.
I never really thought of it in those terms. Well, I guess I have, but those first 15 seconds are important for you too, because you really do need to know whether or not you're getting a vibe.
And our job is to just do what we're doing no matter what. But yeah, you can. Well, I guess maybe not in 15 seconds. Maybe after you do your first, song for them or your first side, the way they react, and it's not negative or positive. It's just you can tell how much they work with you, or if they don't work with you. Sometimes someone can work on a scene with you for a really long time, and it's because you just can't give them what they want. And then sometimes they don't work with you at all, and you immediately get a call back because they just knew that that's what they wanted to see, and we can feel that. You can sense a lot in that room. It's a strange intuition that you kind of learn to tap into.
So tell me about your work. So you're working on Wicked on Broadway now.
Yes.
And what does that entail for you?
I'm going to try and put this in a nutshell.
Okay.
So I'm a vacation swing at Wicked.
Okay.
I started my 7-year journey in other roles. Over the course of 7 years, I've played Nessa Rose, one of the principal roles in Wicked, on Broadway, and then also a full contract on the national tour. Because I dance as well, though, I also do this vacation swing role, which is, I currently know 7 of the roles in the Broadway company of Wicked. So my job is to show up to work every night, and I'm not on in the show every single night. I have all this information in my head, and either a half hour before the show, they call me and they say, okay, you're on for so-and-so's track tonight. And then I take my file folder out of my head, and I look at my notes in my brain, and I go on for that role. Sometimes halfway through the show, someone gets injured. Flo, you're going on for this role right now, and I have to get ready as quickly as possible, and they shove me on stage. So that's swinging in a Broadway show is knowing usually between 5 and 10 different roles that at any given moment you could go on for. So over my course of Wicked, 7 years, I've known 7 different roles in each of the 3 companies, and they're all a little different. So that's what they call a universal swing, because I'm learning. And I know that all the Hamilton has many different companies right now, 5 I think. So there are individuals who know every track in all 5 of those companies, and they get called out for a week here and a week there, and they've got like a stack of notes, however, on their iPads, whatever. So that's the most enjoyable position I've ever had in Wicked. It's like a puzzle to me. It keeps my brain young and fresh.
Well, I would assume so. I mean, being a swing is maybe one of the more difficult things you can do on Broadway.
Yes.
Or anywhere. It is, you have to know all these dances. Okay? She has to know all these dances, which is, that's crazy to me because I can, I did not take dance classes growing up, as you can plainly see, and but I've been in some musicals, and I'm like, I got mine, barely. But to be a swing on Broadway and know not only the dances but also the songs, your parts in the songs.
Yes, I know all 3 voice parts. So depending on who I'm going on for, she's an alto, and it's also, we call them, each part is called a track. And I'm not sure if this is my theory, but I think it makes sense. If you think about like a track on a road that you're following, each one of our roles is a track because it's not only learning the songs and the dances. The dances are the easy part because usually you're all doing the same dance just in different places on the stage.
Sure.
It's all of the other places in the stage where, or in the show, where you have to know positions in the groups, and we have number lines on the front of the stage. So in my notes, a certain section will be stage right 5, stage right 6, stage left, curve track, and you're literally learning a track in your brain so you can follow it throughout the number, throughout the show. So for many years, it was very tunnel vision, deer in headlights. Don't look at anyone else. Just don't run into anyone, and just know my numbers on the stage. So it's even more than just the dances. But it's like a crossword puzzle to me. I love it.
Hi. Just a quick interruption to tell you that we are offering an 8-week evening class on Sundays beginning March 22nd, 2020 in Ferndale, Michigan. This class will teach you some basic techniques that will streamline your acting process, amplify your acting choices, and make your work easier for you and more dynamic for your audience. Classes are a steal at $150, so to sign up or for more information, go to www.michiganchekhov.com. See you guys later. First stepped out as a swing. What was that like for you?
Terrifying.
Yeah?
Oh, it was so scary. Learning Wicked is a massive show to begin with.
Sure.
So I think I had about 2 weeks to learn the entire show, all of the music. They teach you one track at a time, so you're not like, it's not coming at you all at once. So in 2 weeks, I learned my first track, and I remember getting on that stage and just saying like, okay, all right, we call it shove with love. Like, just tell me if I'm in the wrong place, just put me in the right place. I'm sorry if I run into anyone. And then it just starts, and you put your brain in a different place. It's this whole other space in my brain where I'm just in a total concentration mode. I had swung before in other shows, so that concept wasn't the difficult part, but it was the massive show.
Do you feel like sometimes you might have a different approach to the character than the person who is performing it regularly, and how do you
absolutely
navigate that?
Wicked is a tricky one, along with other long-running shows, because as Nessa Rose, for instance, of course they tell you they want you to make it your own role, but you're also part of a well-oiled machine, and you've been cast for a reason. You look the right way, you fit the right costumes, you sound the right way. So there's a large sphere that you can move around in, but you kind of have to stay in those parameters of it, just to keep the integrity of the show the same. People go to Wicked because they want to see what they saw 10 years ago, or what they saw last week because they love seeing Wicked. So we're given that allowance to a certain degree, but every Nessa Rose does it completely differently. We sing, I say that in that nice sphere. We all do it a little bit differently, but it still has to fit It has to fit into a mold. Yeah.
Does that affect the other performers on stage with you?
I think it depends on the performer. I've been, because I've gotten to play Nessa Rose and understudy her for so many years, I've performed with so many different women playing Elphaba. And some of them will do the exact same show every night, no matter who is on with them. They have this look in their eyes that's just kind of glazed over, and they just do their role. And then you've got other women who are there to connect with you. So it depends on the actor. It's so individual, but we all are still, no one's going to make a huge, bold choice that no one's ever seen before in Wicked, because we just can't.
Well, I mean, you have, there's only so much, like you said, there's a sphere in which you can work
you
in.
can bounce around in, but they do like to keep it a comfortable sphere.
Yeah, you don't want to come in like,
Hey, everybody.
One
another move.
Yeah. I don't think I would last very long.
No, I wouldn't think so.
But that being said, doing it, like I did a full contract for a full year, 8 shows a week. I played Nessa, and I loved getting on that stage. People would be like, "Do you get bored of it? Like you're doing the same thing every night." And every single night, I would tell myself, stay present, stay in the moment, and try and find something new. Even with these characters or these performers that you act with every single night, see if there's something to discover. And I've been lucky enough for 7 years to play that role, and I'm a much different Nessa Rose than I was 7 years ago when I started, because I've discovered these things in her character, and it's been a really unique experience, I think, to be able to keep revisiting that role from 30 to 37. That's a lot of growing time.
Life.
Yeah. And I've really enjoyed that experience of this role.
How many performances of Wicked have you been in?
I don't. So over 7 years, because I come and go into the companies, I think I've done probably 4.5 to 5 years straight. So if you think about that, 365 days a year, we only get
About 15,000.
Oh my God, could it be that many?
Well, if it's 365 days,
Yeah. Well,
times 5.
yeah.
Well, maybe, 1,500.
1,500. Yeah.
1,500.
Okay.
And that is why I chose you.
But we all believed you. We went,
Yeah, and that is why we all chose math. But that's a lot. 1,500 is a lot of performances
Yeah.
to try to keep fresh throughout.
Yeah. I mean, as a swing, so 400 of those performances have been Nessa, let's say. But the other 1,100 have been swinging. So I'm in different roles all the time in different companies. So that's much easier to stay fresh.
Yeah.
Because it's you don't really go on autopilot. You're constantly figuring out what number you're going to on the stage. And
What's your dream role?
Sally Bowles in Cabaret, or Gypsy Rosalie in Gypsy. I would love to do either of those roles.
Still have some time left for Gypsy Rose.
I think so. Yeah. Sally, I got to understudy, and that was just the understudy process. It was a long run, so we had understudy rehearsals every week, and that was just fun to get to play around with that role. So yeah, I think those are my 2 right now.
Okay. Right now.
Oh yeah, that'll change, I'm sure. I mean, Sally Bowles has always been on my bucket list, probably only for a couple years more, unless I, do a senior citizen production. I'm still the youngest one.
Well, you never know. People played Hamlet well into their 80s.
Yeah.
What is your dream for the future of this theater?
To stay healthy.
Stay healthy?
Yeah, because I'm old already, and I keep telling the kids, I'm older than your grandma. Listen to me, because it's Tony and I, we're both getting up in years, and we drag our butts up the stage with our bags of crap every Saturday, and after a whole day of these kids, it's like, I'm ready to go home and go to sleep. So I just want to stay healthy so I can keep doing this. It's really my dream to keep doing it. As
Until
long
you
as
die.
I can, yep. I
Yeah,
don't plan to
that's my dream
retire.
too. I hope to play King
Yeah.
Lear and then die.
And then die.
Like the final scene, die, and everyone just applaud and then be horrified.
He's really
That would be the dream.
He's really dead.
For you, not for anyone
For
else.
anyone else. I don't care, I'll be dead!
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love doing this, and I do shows too once in a while, not much. You know, I just graduated from Wayne State with a BA in theater in 2013, I think it was. Because
Oh, really?
I retired, and I said, hey, now I can get my theater degree, because I didn't have to teach anymore.
And you already had your master's.
Yeah, a couple of them. I had the best time of my
Humble
life.
brag.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything though, as far as knowing big words. The 3 years that I spent at Wayne State was a blast. It was just a blast, and here I am with kids 18 through 21, picking me up and throwing me in the air and acting like I'm one of them. And I was in like 5 shows because I was old. And hey, we need an old lady for the show. So I got to do these. It was just so much fun. And I did the month in Moscow also.
Okay.
Yeah, that was hard. You know, walking and doing movement classes and things like that. But I did it. I said, wow.
What possessed you to go back and get your theater?
I always wanted to.
Just you always
I
wanted?
always wanted to.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted to do theater more than teach, but my parents are, you need a job, teach, you know. And I was too scared to do theater. I didn't do it in high school. I was terrified. So I never did it. And then when I got to Eastern College, I said, wow, they've all done it in high school, so I could never do what they're doing. They're way ahead of me. So everybody was always ahead of me, and I never did it. And then I always felt insecure even when I was at
And now your job is giving everyone a head start.
Yes.
So that by the time they get to high school, they're like, well, I've done
It's
Shakespeare.
the confidence, yeah. And then I teach a class at Wayne State, integrating the arts into the elementary classroom. And my section is drama. And I tell these teachers, you're doing drama all the time. You don't realize it, that you're doing drama with kids. But I said, think back when you did Shakespeare in high school, how much you hated it. Because you sat and you read Hamlet. You read it. And I said, and I tell that to kids. I said, when you get to high school and you have to do Hamlet, just ask your teachers if you can get up and move around a little bit and act it out. But the teachers, if they have no theater background, they think, oh, I can't do that. I'm not a director.
Shakespeare being taught by English teachers for English, which is important. I mean, you should know like a history and everything else, but that's not the way Shakespeare was intended to be done.
No, he did it for people, street people.
He didn't even write any of those words down. It was always somebody else writing down what, you know. Well, I mean, basically he wrote it down, but gave them to all the other actors, and the actors put it together, right?
And the only reason the language is fancy is because they all spoke fancy language back there. It's just not, it's their common language.
Oh yeah, the vocabulary.
Yeah.
Even up to the 19th century was incredible compared to our very simplistic, you know, Walt Whitman and Hemingway. I think they did a lot to bring all of our vocabulary very simple, which is not a bad thing, but If you go on Gutenberg, you know, free books that are in public domain, I'm always looking up children's theater or children's stories. They are written like for a 25-year-old to understand. You know, and this is a children's book, but that's how they spoke, so they understood what that was. Well, children were just little adults back then.
They were.
Yeah. So your theater works a lot with disabilities, kids with disabilities. Can you tell me how that works?
We never intended that to happen, but if kids would come along, the parents would say, oh, my child has this disability, can they join you? And I said, of course they can. If it works out, we'll take anybody who wants to come. And sometimes there will be siblings, and one is like into theater and the other one is older and maybe like graduating. Like I just got a note from a parent saying, can my daughter come? She's graduating in June. I said, heck yeah, I don't care how old she is. And I said, eventually she can help us out or whatever. You know, we have to see how it works. But we'll keep kids as long as they want to be here. The disability thing, you know, there weren't labels when we were kids, when I was a kid. There weren't labels. I tell all my students at Wayne State that I know I am ADD to this day. They will vouch for it, my family. When I was in first grade, all the way through high school, I had my little toys across my desk. They were my friends. And the teacher would be talking, and I'd be like, Yeah, and if they asked me a question, I wouldn't know what the heck they were talking about, because I wasn't tuning into that. And a lot of our kids, I mean, today, how can you get away from that with the food we eat, the water we drink, and the games they play? I consider everybody special needs. When I taught special ed, I wanted to go to every teacher in my building and say, you need to treat your children like they are all special needs, because every kid's an individual.
What does that entail for you? When you say that, what do you mean by that?
That everybody comes with baggage. Adults can leave that baggage at home if they're in a play. Kids don't leave their baggage at home. And kids have deep problems today that I never had to deal with.
Sounds to me like you're saying, treat every child with a feeling of empathy.
Yes.
Which is what theater teaches us most of all.
Oh my
right?
gosh, yes. And I think that's why they're here. And I get people like from Google saying, hey, your webpage sucks. I go, I don't care. I'm not out there looking for people. They find us, and it's by word of mouth. I don't want to advertise. And people ask about summer programs. I don't do summer day camp. I want kids who really want to do theater, not kids who need a place to go in the summer because their parents are working. And so that's what's important to me. And that's why, the kids who do Shakespeare, they really want to be here, And anything. I mean, we're doing Sister Act. We got 10 boys who auditioned for that. And I thought, okay, we'll find places for them. Because we've always had a low number of boys, and the girls are like, yeah, I'll play a boy again. They always do.
And of course you do Sister Act.
Yeah,
10 boys up.
And all these boys show up. Yeah, it's hilarious. But I think just because of that word of mouth, one mom lives all the way in Ypsilanti, brings her son here, she teaches in Dearborn, and he goes to school there where she teaches, and she said, he doesn't have friends, he doesn't do anything, I just want him to do something. He's in the 8th grade, so he's in Sister Act, and he's doing a great job. He's never acted before. And that's what, people say, do they need experience? No, this is where you get it.
Yeah.
That's what we're offering you. And then
maybe they do need experience.
Yeah.
That's why you're
right. That's why we're here. And then we have kids who've been here forever, and they take them under their wings, and they help each other. It's just empathy for each other.
What makes you the most proud when you when you had that show open, or has there been
I used to cry when shows opened when our own kids were in it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. And now it's just like, yep, these kids are amazing. That's how I feel. When Jenny and her group, we did Joseph, Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat with Donny Osmond. Our kids got into the choir. That was really a cool time. That made us all proud, because our musical director, who was amazing, just took all these kids who they don't sing, formally or anything. And Ray Schmidt just got you guys so good. They were amazing. And for the audition, they sang Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, 3-part harmony. They were amazing.
Wow.
And this is it's just that we love. And Tony and we keep saying, yeah, people don't know about us, but we know we're doing something good. That's our calling in life, even more than teaching. Teaching was a job which I loved. This, I don't pay myself. I'm here because I love to do it. I love it. And I don't know, I just feel so enriched by doing it. I really do. Yeah.
I think that is a good place to end it.
Okay.
Again, this has been Michigan Theater and Film Talk with my guests, Nancy and Jenny Florkowski. My name is Jeff Tamakis. If you would like to learn more about what I do or anything that is happening with my videos, go ahead and go to my website, which is www.michiganchekhov.com, or you can go to my personal website, which is www.jefftamakis.com. And what's your URL for Motor City Youth Theater?
www.mcyt.org.
mcyt.org.
And we have at least 5 Facebook pages.
And please do not email Nancy and tell her that her webpage sucks. Because that's rude.
It does.
Who does that?
But it's because I run it, so, I do everything. I wash toilets and I do the webpage, yeah.
And Jenny, so you're going back to New York and you'll be on
tonight.
Wicked?
Yes.
So if you want to go to Wicked on Broadway, you might see an amazing swing going on that night. Again, my name is Jeff Tamakis, and we'll see you guys later.